Hey guys, welcome back to Ancestral Healing. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. For me, it's morning time. Just hopped out the shower, hair is a little wet, ready to go. Starting to do my videos in the morning. First things first, because it's my highest priority on Tuesdays and Fridays, and I have been loving it. Today, I'm going to be giving you guys 3 tips for starting carnivore. If you've already tried the carnivore diet and it didn't work for you, these tips might also be super helpful. I've gathered these tips in the last 3 years on an animal-based diet. So let's get started. I have my notes over here, so I may be looking side to side, but tip number 1 is understanding if you are an abstainer or a moderator. It's essential to finding out which one you are. So what is an abstainer? So an abstainer looks like someone who potentially could remove all carbs from their diet, has to remove all carbs, otherwise they're constantly thinking about which carbs are safe to eat, which are not, can I eat this, can I not, and it's a little bit of a torturous cycle. This type of person usually goes all in on something. I started off as a strict carnivore for 2 years. I was so strict, I would not even eat a piece of meat that had a little bit of seasoning on it. Like if my stepdad made barbecue and his meat touched my meat, I would not eat it. I would just make myself another one, or I would make carnivore cheesecake for the family, but I wouldn't have any because of the honey. So I was super strict because I was seeing such benefits for my health that I was actually kind of worried that if I tried a little bit of honey, or Danny would, he kind of explored into the dark chocolate. He had a dark chocolate phase. I stayed far away from that. I didn't know what I would do if I had that one piece of chocolate. If you know that one bowl of ice cream will turn into you eating the entire tub of ice cream, or if you have one piece of chocolate, you're gonna go raid your kitchen, you should probably consider yourself an abstainer. Standard Care Nutrition will tell us everything in moderation, a balanced diet, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. But in fact, that's what's gotten us here. That's what's gotten us so sick. Because standard care doesn't account for all of the terrible foods that we're eating and the food addictions that we've developed along the way. When you are so susceptible to having a sugar addiction, which is so many of us because sugar is one of the most normalized addictions, moderation can be torture because it just sets us off again and again and again. You you cannot imagine how difficult it is to do a carnivore diet as a moderator. And I do actually think that most people going on a carnivore diet with the intention to heal would benefit from being an abstainer. It doesn't have to be forever. I'm living proof of that. But at the beginning, it might almost be necessary, especially when you know that there's no nutrient in these processed carbs and sugar. When you know that, it can be easy to abstain. Actually, that was what worked for me. I kept repeating to myself, these foods are not good for you. You know that this all meat diet is going to heal you. You already see the results. So keep on eating what is fueling your body. So now on the other side, we have being a moderator. So what does being a moderator mean? It means that variety has always kind of been your friend. You have somewhat of a control over your eating habits. Perhaps you have always been a healthy, whatever that means, healthy person. So you're not really triggered by a piece of chocolate. Maybe you have it once in a while as a treat, but eating one piece of chocolate is not going to set you off to go raid your kitchen. I don't think that I've ever been a moderator, but I think we can be different things in different phases of your life. I'm a moderator now, actually, which is kind of cool. But one example that I have of someone doing really well on an animal-based diet as a moderator is actually Danny's dad. When we went full carnivore, we kind of drilled it into him to go carnivore with us because he had a lot of healing to do, but he didn't go full carnivore. I mean, sure, there were some meals where he would eat strict carnivore just because he was eating with us, and sometimes we were doing the cooking, so it was like, here's a ribeye with some chunky beef fat on the side. But he was able to do like kind of a ketovore-ish diet with a few vegetables. And I know once in a while he snuck in some treats, but it was all under control. And he did so well and he healed a lot. I think it helped so much with his asthma, with his sleep apnea, and he lost a lot of weight. So he kind of had that balance, that a little bit of variety. So he did really well with that. Whether or not you're going to be a moderator or an abstainer on your carnivore journey, it really all depends on you and the type of healing that you have to do. You may have to try one being a moderator or trying being an abstainer to figure out which one you are and which one you're not, but it's all part of the process. Most people going on a carnivore diet will benefit on being an abstainer as they focus on nourishing their body with nutrient dense foods to help heal the body. When you nourish your body with these nutrient dense foods like beef fat, liver, organ meats, all the good stuff, all the healthy animal fats, you're helping actually fight your physical cravings because you're giving your body what it actually needs. And it takes some time to shut off those cravings, but you can do it. It takes time, but I mean, nothing worthwhile comes easy. And I think that the first step is to win the battle with the body. So you are now in control of what you're feeding your body, and now you can focus on the mind because these are, these food addictions that we have, they're so strong in our minds. And once you get control of your body, you can now focus on getting control of the mind and fighting those cravings mentally and figuring out what's triggering them, what are your triggers, how to stop those triggers, and filling in those unhealthy habits with habits that are healthier and that benefit you. You do not want your body and your mind fighting against you. You'll lose every time. So try to work on at least getting the body first by being in control of what you eat, and then you can kind of reteach and reprogram your brain a little bit, work on that mind. Tip number 2 for starting a carnivore diet is do not live in the values of other people. That means in the values of your mother, your father, your brother, your husband, your wife, your sister, your friends, your coworker, or Bob staring at you down the street. Stop living in the values of other people. And now I understand that some of us, you're a mom and you have to cook for 3 other people, plus your husband and your mother. And it's hard sometimes, but at the end of the day, if your cup is not full, you cannot help other people. So you have to be a little bit selfish sometimes, and this is a good type of selfish. You cannot live in the values of other people if you want to make and see true change in your life. This rule actually applies to all areas of your life. Living in the values of other people can be crippling. And for me, not living in the values of other people is one of the top things that has transformed my life, along with going on a carnivore diet. So I stopped worrying about what other people thought, and I really, really thought about what my own values were, which was to get healthy, to feel good, to be truly, truly happy. And I started living in those values and aligning my everyday actions with those values and not the values of, my grandma, for example, or, my cousin. If you're watching this, hey Andrew. I'm just kidding. That was just an example. But I stopped living in the values of other people and I got so much happier. I didn't have this guilt. I didn't have this stress of what would this person think about me? What would they say if I just went on a meat diet? And honestly, life got so much better. And I know with the carnivore diet, it's really, really taboo and it's a weird one to explain to family members, to coworkers, but just educate yourselves on the carnivore diet. Read about it, stay informed, arm yourself. You don't have to, necessarily come back at them with all these facts. I used to do that, and I used to try to convert people to the carnivore diet, and it was so draining, and it was not really necessarily the right thing to do, because the student comes when they're ready. The teacher can't force it, but just educate yourself. Sorry about those dogs in the background. Sorry about that. So yeah, just educate yourself, know your why, and live in your own values. Stop worrying about others. They're not worried about you. There's this saying, this quote, and I think it goes something like, why would you ask for directions to someone who's never been down that road before? So why would you ask someone for advice? Why would you care about what someone has to say if they've never walked in your shoes? They've never been in your shoes. Like I would never ask financial advice for someone who like doesn't care about money. So why would you take someone's health advice when they are gobbling down a bag of chips? Like it doesn't. Just trust yourself. And the final carnivore tip, starting a carnivore diet tip, is give yourself at least 3 months. So the first month, the way I see it, is the toughest month. It's the adaptation phase. The second month, transition phase. And the third month, I'd say you're thriving by then, or you should be. This can look different for people because we're all of different ages, different health conditions. So, don't take my word for it that by the third month you'll be thriving. But regardless, I really believe that you need to give it at least 3 months for your body to become fat adapted, for you to kind of let go of some of those sugar cravings, and finally start to feel the benefits of an animal-based diet. And also, um, you're going to learn a lot along the way. You can't learn it all in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And a lot of people I see, they try the carnivore diet for 2 weeks, for even a month. Maybe they don't even do it properly. I mean, there's so many angles that we can look at it. But if you really want a good shot, be honest with yourself. Find out, are you an abstainer or a moderator? And don't live in the values of other people. And give this at least 3 months to see some true healing. So I hope this video is helpful to you guys. I really enjoy making these videos for you and love reading your comments, and I'm so grateful for your support. There's nothing more than I love doing than making these videos, and along the way I learn as well. So it's a win-win. I wish you guys a beautiful weekend ahead. Enjoy these other 2 videos on the screen and have a great weekend. Bye bye.